there was a really good story on ESPN.com today by Ramona Shelburne and Kendra Andrews about Klay Thompson, his departure from the Warriors. And they talked about, obviously the team he chose was the Dallas Mavericks. He liked Dallas, he liked Oklahoma City, and he liked the Lakers. Now, Dallas was his first choice. He felt that was a better basketball fit. Oklahoma City, just that wouldn't have worked. I don't even know that they ended up pursuing him that hard because they went after Isaiah Hartenstein from the Knicks.
Which was a good pickup for them.
Good
they needed
move.
Rebounding and stuff, so that was good for them.
Absolutely. Good move for them. And LeBron was wooing him for the Lakers. But here, ultimately, this is what one source close to Klay said, according to ESPN.com. Klay thought, would this be trading one fishbowl for another? And Rob, I think that sums it all up for Klay Thompson. Klay isn't as gregarious and, you know what I mean, doesn't court the spotlight. We know that Steph is the face of that team. Draymond's kind of that inspirational leader, I guess for good and bad, but he's that, their heart and soul kind of. And Steph is the leader and the culture setter and, obviously the best player. And Klay was just a great star, and Steve Kerr used to always say he was low maintenance, but reports are saying that, over the last year or two, he became really high maintenance because he was struggling with accepting his role. But I think, Rob, Klay would love to just be able to play basketball and not be all, in the spotlight. Sure, he wants his accolades and he wants his honors and things like that. Who doesn't? But I think, Rob, it was understandable for him to say, you know what? I'm now getting out of that Golden State spotlight. In Dallas, we got a chance to win. I won't be in as much of a fishbowl as I have been my whole career. And the Lakers, Rob, the Lakers, even though they don't win like the Warriors, they would have been a bigger fishbowl. And I think that is actually right on my. And Anthony Slater actually used that word, right? When we had him on earlier in the week, I think it was before Klay even went to Dallas.
Was it, or was it after?
I think it was before, if I'm not mistaken. Don't hold me to that, but I think it was before.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, and he said he used that word fishbowl, that he, that Klay, he's not sure he wanted to be in that fishbowl in L.A., and that's exactly what it would have been.
I hear the fishbowl reference, Chris.
Yep.
I think it's more soap opera. I think that defines what the Lakers are. Like this soap opera drama with the whole thing. J.J. Redick, is he his own man? Is he LeBron's puppet? Oh, now we got LeBron's son, Bronny, in the mix. LeBron's running the franchise. Who's in charge here? To me, it's a soap opera. L.A., you're right, always a fishbowl as far as people paying attention, Chris, and where they fit in, and they're always in the conversation. So that's always going to be there. But I think this has turned into a soap opera, and people aren't sure what is this going to be. Is this going to blow up, Chris, in people's faces this year? Which it could.
I don't disagree with what you're saying, because there are a ton of storylines, just off the court storylines,
right,
and ones that could end up being positive or negative, right? But I would guess, and I'd like to know if you agree with me. My guess would be that Klay, if you said that to him, he would kind of be like, that's what I mean. You know what I mean? Like, I think he's meshing all of it together. Mm-hmm. I don't think he's necessarily specifically thinking about JJ and LeBron and Bronny and all that, but that's part of it. I think for Klay, the biggest fishbowl that would impact him, you know how it is, right? And I think he knew if we were to win a championship, and I think he's friendly with LeBron. Obviously, they spoke, at length about him joining him. But he understands, as anybody that goes to the Lakers should understand, Rob, if they were to win a championship, it really wouldn't be about LeBron and Klay's winning their 5th championship. It would be about LeBron winning the 5th championship, and let's have the GOAT conversation. You know what I mean? That's what it would be about. Now, of course, in Dallas, it's going to be about Luka. Like, if they win a championship, it's going to be
no
about
matter where he goes,
Luka's
it's going to
finally
be about
arrived.
right.
And he's the guy. And Klay will be, the second or maybe even third, probably third guy, because you got Kyrie there. I don't mean he's definitely the third offensive option, but I mean he might even be the third storyline, behind Kyrie and Luka. But Luka's shadow isn't as big as LeBron's. And it's not LeBron's fault. I mean, you can disagree with some of the stuff he does, but it's because he's such a great player. He's in that GOAT debate. Like, it just is what it is. And he clearly wants the GOAT. And the path to getting there is championship. So it is going to be about him. And if he doesn't get there, somebody else is going to, be blamed to some degree. Westbrook, it's not that LeBron should have been blamed, but Westbrook was a scapegoat. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And so that going in, and I think that's part of what it was too, Rob.
Yeah, you do know. I've said it before. If things don't work out, LeBron, his fans say he's the GOAT, but if things don't work out with LeBron, you become the scapegoat, Chris, in all these situations. So, I could just see where Klay just doesn't want to be involved in that. I can. And it's not like he went to a team that had no shot to win. They just went to the finals, right? So it makes sense, even though he's not going to be the main guy. He wasn't going to be the main guy here in L.A., Chris.
No.
So it doesn't matter from that standpoint. I think it makes sense to stay out of this fray, especially with the J.J. Redick and the Bronny. Forget LeBron and just be and the Lakers. Right. Bronny and JJ story. The Lakers lose their first 5 games, Chris. Is it all out JJ with a mistake? Do you know what I mean? I just
if they lost their first 5, you remember, and he wouldn't get fired, obviously.
No.
But remember, they fired Mike Brown 5 games into his second season.
Yeah, they sure did.
Season. And they made the second round of the playoffs. He had led them as far as Phil Jackson had the year before he got there. So I hear you on that. Yeah, it is. Look, we don't know if JJ can coach or not. He might be great.
He might be.
He might be horrible. He might be so-so, right? But Klay is looking at, okay, Jason Kidd, who's experienced now as a head coach. What's he been with? 3 teams, I believe. The Nets, the Bucks, and now the Mavericks, and has really turned into a very good coach. And so you've got that, or you can go to J.J. Redick, who nobody has any idea whether or not he can coach. And so I think all of that's a factor. I would bet that Bronny didn't come in at all and really shouldn't have into Klay's thinking. But you're right, the coaching staff as well is a big part of this, and it's just not, you got an unproven coach. And so I do think, though, Klay just wanted to stay out of the quote-unquote fishbowl, and that's what he ended up doing. So, he moves on to the Dallas Mavericks, and I like their chances, Rob. I like their chances. I think not only do they get Klay Thompson, they got Quentin Grimes who can shoot, and they have Najee Marshall, who is a nice pickup. They lost Derrick Jones Jr., but I think they got better. I think they are better now, and Klay Thompson does have a real chance to win his 5th ring, and I don't think he's mad at all about at Steph and Draymond. But it would be some poetic justice for Klay Thompson if of the three of them, he ends up with a fifth ring.
Oh, there's no doubt about that.
And plays a big role,
sure.
you know?
There's no doubt.
That would be great for him. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
But I think you can't look at the Lakers and not think soap opera or drama or something. The S is going to hit the fan at some point. You know what I mean, Chris? Like, they don't have a championship roster. You don't look at them and go, "Oh yeah, oh my God, they're going to be in the mix."
Right.
There's none of that. So there's a chance that stuff doesn't go well, that they don't win. The last couple of years, Darvin Ham took them to the Western Conference Finals and won the in-season tournament, and they couldn't wait to run him out.
Right.
Tell me, Chris. So J.J. Redick and the Lakers don't make the playoffs, or they get in the play-in and get knocked out or whatever. He gets to stick around? Is that seriously? How are we going to judge that when Darvin Ham got run out of town?
Look. I mean, I think when you look at the way they've handled this, and we'll see again what J.J. is, but when you look at the way they've handled this. And we thought it before, Rob. I don't think they should have fired Darvin.
No, I didn't.
I don't think they should have fired Darvin.
Chris.
But when you look at the way they handled things in the aftermath, you definitely feel like they shouldn't have fired him.
Right.
You know? And so, he's in Milwaukee on the Bucks coaching staff. And I think he will get another head job. I don't think there's any doubt about that at some point. So it'll be interesting.